Well, it's that time of year again. We have plenty of rain and lots of sunshine, and summertime plants are ready to be moved from their store-bought plastic pots to decorative ones. So today I'm going to show you how that's properly done. Having fresh plants in and outside of our homes can be useful for many things, like decorations or to attract bees, nutritional uses, or even for holistic things. In this speech, I'll be using my plant for decoration and to attract bees to pollinate the other plants that we have here around the house. I'll demonstrate how to properly transplant this purple bedding sage from the store-bought plastic container that it's in into a decorative pot. And specifically, I'll cover the steps and items that we need for the transplantation and the steps for repotting the plant and immediate aftercare process. So the first step in properly replanting a full sun plant like bedding sage is to collect the proper supplies so you can be completely prepared. Firstly, it's important to know exactly where you want to put your plant so you can choose the appropriate pot. For something that's full sun, like the bedding sage is, that needs 6 hours every day of sun, you have to choose a pot that won't get too hot like metal or won't break like glass. So better choices are things like terracotta or ceramic pots or wood pots. Today, since we have a full sun plant, I'm going to use this ceramic container, and it's about twice as wide up here as the size of this pot here. The next thing that we'll need for transplanting is the proper soil. And soils are made up of air, water, organic materials, and minerals. So there are many different types for the different types of plants and the different places that we plant them. The brand usually doesn't matter. It's really the nutrients that are in the soil and where you'll be planting the plant mostly that matters. Today we're going to be using soil that's specifically made for planting plants in potters or potted plants. It's important to use that right type of soil because soils for in-ground plants won't have the right kinds of nutrients. And bedding sage likes really hot, sunny environments, and it likes to be in well-draining soil. So the soil that we're using has plenty of perlite, which are these little white beads. The last thing that we're going to need are the tools and the watering and food supplies for the full sun plant. So we have the feed here and our watering can. Transplanting is really simple, so you really don't have to have that many things. Having a willing to get dirty kind of attitude is the best place to start. And you can choose to wear gloves, but I like to do it with my hands because I find that I can be gentler with the plant as I'm taking it out and moving it to the new pot. A spade and rake are helpful too, but they're not always required for things like this. And after we have a good watering source and food source, we have everything that we need, and we can get started with the fun part. So since repotting is fairly simple, there are just a few quick steps. First, it's important to have your pot ready for the new plant. The best way to do that is to just fill the bottom of the pot with the soil that you're going to be using, so that the bottom of your plant's root ball doesn't touch the bottom of your pot. So after the pot's ready, it's time to move this plant from the plastic container into this one. A great tip that I found online from Jessie Rackfink at Instructables.com in her 2017 article called How to Repot Container Plants is to not water the plant in the store-bought container, so it makes it easier to come out. So we're going to see how that works. For the small plastic containers like these, it's easiest just if you squeeze the sides a couple of times and then kind of dump it on its side, and it should pop right out. And there's the exposal of your root ball in the soil. And now that that's out, we just kind of gently shake the soil off and place it down in our pot. So it should be a little bit higher than that. It should be about even or just a little lower than the top of your pot. And after it's in there, you just want to take your soil and kind of fill in around the sides of the pot. And there's a little bug crawling around in there. So after that's nice and settled in there with all of the fresh new soil, you have to provide the proper aftercare for the plant. So you don't have to feed the plant with plant food, but we're gonna just kind of give it a little boost. And this plant food just sort of helps give extra nutrients and helps the plant adapt to its new environment. So you just sprinkle some around the base of the plant, just a little bit. And then you wanna water. Make sure that you water all of the soil and make sure that it's moist but not muddy. And once it's at that point, then you're all set. The last thing to do is put your newly transplanted plant into the spot that you want to have it. This little guy is going to go on the front porch where we get lots of light for most of the day. So in summary, choosing the proper placement, potting, soil, and immediate aftercare are the required elements for properly transplanting a plant from store-bought to a potted container. Hopefully I was able to show you through my demonstration that repotting plants can be fun and simple, and they can provide many different uses around your home. So this weekend, brighten up your home and help the bees thrive by planting your own store-bought plants in containers around your house.